The man was looking for a perfect wife, but found true love. Nope, not this one either, Alex muttered under his breath, scrolling through profiles on a dating site. Wow, look at these demands. And she's not even that attractive. He frowned and leaned back in his chair. There were plenty of candidates, but only a few were even remotely interesting. A woman in her 40s looking for a prince? That's not even funny. He clicked on the last profile. Alice, not a beauty queen, a little overweight, worked as a cashier. Yet she still wanted a wealthy, fit man under 45. Yeah, good luck with that. Maybe start by fixing yourself up before posting a dating profile, he scoffed. Still stuck on that site? A familiar voice teased. It was his sister, Olivia, who occasionally dropped by to help around the house, cooking, ironing, keeping things in order. Alex was completely helpless when it came to household chores. How many have you talked to so far? She asked. Wasn't last week number 8, and none of them worked out? All they care about is one thing, Alex snapped. Money, money, money. Or a handyman to fix up their house. What am I, a free laborer? I'm looking for a wife, my soulmate, a woman I can spend the rest of my life with. Olivia rolled her eyes. Then step outside, she said, cutting off his rant. Take a walk in the park, go to a museum, check out an art exhibit. You keep saying you want a cultured woman, or I don't know, pay attention to your coworkers. There are plenty of great women at your office. Alex wrinkled his nose. There's nothing to talk about with them, and you should hear their expectations. A man has to help with housework, bring home great money, buy flowers every other day. And what do they offer in return? Oh, and what do you expect from a wife? Olivia shot back, folding her arms. Cooking? Laundry? Cleaning your house? She let out a sigh and shook her head. I can't always come over, you know. I have my own family. And you can't even be bothered to wipe the dust off your own furniture. Alex waved her off. Forget it. Olivia just sighed, realizing there was no point arguing anymore. At 45, Alex was still relying on his family's help. It wasn't about money. He had plenty of that. His job paid well, but when it came to everyday life, if no one cooked for him, he'd either go hungry or order an unhealthy amount of takeout. And let's be honest, he wasn't a kid anymore. His health was starting to catch up with him. Alex had never been married. His longest relationship lasted about a year. Everything seemed to be heading toward marriage. But in the end, the relationship fell apart over something as simple as household chores. Laura had grown tired of the fact that Alex couldn't even rinse out a coffee mug after using it, let alone wipe the crumbs off the table. Oh, it's not a man's job, huh? His sister Olivia mocked. Maybe Laura could have tolerated it if Alex at least took care of the manly tasks, fixing a shelf, changing a faucet, repairing an outlet. But no, that's not something we want to do either, Olivia muttered, scrubbing a sink full of dirty dishes that had been piling up for days. That's it. I'm done. I'm not coming back. She slammed a cabinet door shut. I have grandkids to take care of. I'm not here to babysit my grown brother. He either finds a wife or hires a housekeeper. I'm washing my hands of this. Alex listened to her rant with a smirk. This wasn't the first time she had said this, but every time she came back, she'd cool down, and within a few days, she'd show up again, because she just couldn't leave her little brother to struggle. After all, she had practically raised him. Their parents had always been at work, and Olivia, 10 years older, had taken care of Alex since he was little. But this time, 3 days passed, and Olivia didn't show up. She didn't answer his calls. She was mad. She only sent one message. Figure it out yourself. Alex wandered around his apartment, banged a few empty pots around, pulled on his last clean shirt, and then it hit him. He really would have to figure this out on his own. Finding the right woman wasn't going to happen overnight, so for now, he'd have to hire someone. Because, well, he was hungry. He didn't waste time picking a housekeeper. He scrolled through a dozen profiles on a hiring website. Good reviews, solid recommendations. People seemed satisfied. The only downside? It was expensive. Guess I need to find a wife ASAP. Someone to take over these chores. Flowers. Yeah, fine. I'll buy flowers. Once a week. Maybe once every 2. Over the next 2 weeks, Alex met 5 different potential wives, but none of them were the one. One wanted romance and slow courtship. Another made it clear she was not a maid and had no interest in household chores. That's what hired help is for, she scoffed. Every woman he met, not quite right, and then, unexpectedly, he ran into his neighbor. She was a little younger than him, well-kept, attractive, and a widow with 2 grown children. Her kids were off in college, living on their own. Well now, this might just work, Alex thought, and went to introduce himself. 6 months passed. Olivia stopped by her brother's place, planning to stay for only a few minutes. She had come to drop off his birthday gift since she wouldn't be in town that day. Alex grinned, his face lighting up with gratitude, and invited her to stay for coffee and dessert. They sat in the kitchen, chatting pleasantly. Olivia couldn't help but notice how much being in a serious relationship had changed him. Alex had softened. He no longer complained about everything under the sun. Instead, he kept talking about how amazing his girlfriend was. And then, something truly unbelievable happened. He walked over to the sink, washed his cup, and put it back in place. Olivia froze. Her brother had just cleaned up after himself. Is this what love does to a man? Alex turned and caught her staring. Why are you looking at me like that? He asked, shifting uncomfortably, his ears turning slightly red. It's not a big deal. Besides, it makes Maria happy. Olivia smiled warmly. I'm just really happy for you, she said sincerely. Unbelievable. In 6 months, Maria had managed to do what Olivia couldn't in years. What a brilliant woman.